news that just happened moments ago coming out of Nashville where Mike Vrabel has been fired. Dude had winning seasons his first 4 years as the head coach of the Titans. 9-7, 9-7, 11-5, 12-5. Won the division in 2020 and 2021. Had losing seasons each of the last 2 seasons. Has a 54-45 record overall. 3 playoff years, a 2-3 record in the playoffs, and apparently all of that gets washed away because he had back-to-back losing seasons in 2022 and 2023. So Mike Vrabel out in Nashville, and that is surprising. That is surprising. But anyway, we're working on getting more reaction to that, but if you want to comment on it, you can do that as well. I do have a top 10 for you today. Actually, I got 2 top 10s, the final AP top 10 and the top 10 Vegas favorites for next season in college football for the Natty, which is, it's kind of complicated because next season, the team that wins it all will have to win 3 or 4 games to win it all. And we're going to begin to learn how valuable those first-round buys are. I mean, they do it in all the other divisions with a 24-team playoff and the top 8 teams getting a bye. And to be honest, with the bowl model kind of crumbling outside of the playoffs, well, why not go full on when they expand again after the 2026 season? Or 2025 season, 2026 championship game. I mean, 8 bowls for the first round. Do the same thing. Go with a 24-team field with 8 byes, and then you got 8 bowls in round 1, 8 more bowls in round 2. Then you got 4 bowls, and then you got 2 bowls for the semifinal. That would be 22 bowl games to decide it all. Now, if you want to have another 15 games or so just to have programming, well, knock yourself out. You can have that for all the smaller schools. But you say, hey, wait, that means that the bowl season would be like a month long, and the dates would be all messed up. Well, so? I mean, do you realize that next season, have you looked into this a minute? Next season, the Orange Bowl is on January 9th. The Orange Bowl, which is typically New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, January 9th. The Cotton Bowl next year is January 10th. After the 2025 season, the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl are January 8th and 9th. So it's time to, they've already blown the thing to hell. So it's time to completely reimagine the bowl system. There is no more, bowl tie-ins, and the ACC goes here, and the SEC goes to sugar, and the Big Ten goes to road. All of that's gone. Everything is gone. There's no more of that anyway. There's no more New Year's Day means this. You got the Cotton Bowl on January 10th next year. And the Orange Bowl's January 9th. So maybe it's time to completely reimagine the whole bowl system. Or you got to kill it off. Beginning next season, teams going to the semis will play in 2 bowl games. You could play in the Rose Bowl one week and the Orange Bowl the next week. You can go from L.A. to Miami. So why not play in 3 bowl games? Are you telling me that if Alabama were to play, I don't know, in the Music City Bowl in the first round, and then the Rose Bowl in the second round, and the Orange Bowl in the third round, and nobody's going to go? I mean, maybe you don't go to all of them, but there are fans coast to coast that would go. You decide which one you want to go to if, in fact, your team was moving on. It's not about the 60, 70,000 people that go to the game. Anyway, to be honest with you, it's about the TV show. In the tens of millions that watch on TV, not 70,000 people. Oh, well, it would be tough on the fan. Do they go to the Rose Bowl? Do they go to the Orange Bowl? They don't care about the fan. Pick one. Go. Last night, the Michigan Wolverines did what I thought they would do. Mug Washington like they did Alabama. Just physically beating the Huskies into a welcome to the Big Ten moment. If you remember, my prediction was 24-13. It's posted. It's on the social. It's at all the... That was my prediction, 24-13. The final was 34-13. I said yesterday Michigan and under was the play. That's what I gave you. That's what happened. Nailed the Washington score, 13. Everybody's like, no, 24, 28, 31, 30. My knucklehead son and his knucklehead partner on the knucklehead blitz both had Washington winning. What are these people doing? I told you, if I tell you tomorrow is Easter, you hide your eggs tonight. Even though I suck and beat the big dog this year. But nailed that. Nailed that. Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards each ran for over 100 yards and had multiple TDs. And the last time that happened was 2010 when Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson did that. It's a true story. It's a true story. Michigan ran for over 300 yards in the game. They averaged 8.1 yards per carry. That's pretty good. In the meantime, they held Washington to 46 yards rushing. Look, Washington hung on as long as they could possibly hang on. But they weren't going to hang on that long. Michigan ran, like I said, for over 300 yards. And they come away now with their first undisputed natty since 1948, 75 years ago. Yeah, they got a half a one in 97. Now they get a first undisputed one. I'm a little bit surprised that Natty Danny. Oh, that's right. I said I'd call him Natty Danny. And I don't Welsh. People texting me say, well, you better not call him Natty Danny. Will you have to pull your man card if you call him Natty Danny? I told him that if he won the national championship, I'd call him Natty Danny. So now he's Natty Danny. All right, phone lines are wide open for hour number 1. So go ahead and use the lines. 256-576-4977. You can text the show at 732-9TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. I can't believe they fired Mike Vrabel. The 2021 Coach of the Year, and they fired a kid. Man. Amy Strunk. I don't know if she knows what she's doing. Station's X feed is at 97.7 ESPN. Mine is at Thom Abraham Show. We are on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You get a link there to the YouTube channel, WZZN TV. Like and subscribe on YouTube to get notifications. Go to 97.7ESPN.com and get links to all of that. And while you're at it, get our app. Just search 97.7 ESPN The Zone from your app store, and you get links to everything. Zone 2, 3, 4, and 5 as well. All our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. Check out the program calendar at 97.7ESPN.com. It will also tell you on that calendar that I will be broadcasting Thursday and Friday from the Huntsville Boat Show at the VBC. And if everything goes as planned, I'll actually be broadcasting from the Bassmaster Radio Phoenix PHX 19 on the floor of the Huntsville Boat Show. Coming up at the top of the 1, Paul Harvey from Saturday Tradition. No, don't even say what the rest of the story. From Saturday Tradition on what the win means for the 10, Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh. This was a grind to get here for Harbaugh. Would it take like 9 years, right? Would it actually be easier for him to win a Super Bowl than another natty? I mean, if he were to survive the investigations into his own program and stay at Michigan, could he win a Super Bowl? Could he win another natty before he would win a Super Bowl if he went someplace else? Look, the dude is 60, you know. He's 60. He looks like the older brother of the two brothers. John Harbaugh is actually the older brother. Jim is younger. Jim looks older than John. They're only about a year apart, though. But whatever decision Jim Harbaugh makes, he's making for the rest of his career right now. I mean, he can go all Nick Saban, coach 10 more years at Michigan. They're going to put a statue up for him anyway. Maybe even win another 1 or 2 natties. You never know. Or he can go Pete Carroll. Go back to the NFL and try and get that Super Bowl to go with the natty. He would only be the 4th guy to do that. Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, Pete Carroll. That's it. That's the list. of guys that have won both a Natty and a Super Bowl. The one that always trips you up is Barry Switzer. Does he do it with Jimmy's people? So now you got Jim Harbaugh. He's got the Natty. He's been to a Super Bowl, hasn't won it. Also joining us today, later in the show, Chris George, father of Melissa, to join us talk about the upcoming Melissa George night at the Huntsville Havoc game on Saturday, January 20th. The Havoc closing in on raising $1 million, I think, for the Melissa George Foundation at the Huntsville Hospital in the NICU unit down there. We'll talk to Chris George about that. All right, over there in a little glass booth with the slanted ceiling, playing the platters of matter and the stacks of wax, a man on the phones and keeping us on the air and asking whether or not Arthur Blank is going to call Mike Vrabel, go back to the Titans for another coach. You never know. It's the one and only DJ Grizzly Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Grizzlicious is in front of his Falcon screen there, kind of like dipping in and out in front of his Falcon screen behind him there. I thought you gave up on them. I thought you were like quit the Falcons.
Give up on them. Got to see
okay.
Gotta stick true. Got to stick true to my word. Can't have can't have multiple teams in the NFL. I still think that's the dumbest thing possible.
2 weeks ago, you gave up on them.
Doesn't matter. You can fan bases give up all the time and they come back around. It's just
you can have your
Arthur
favorite
Blank
team.
says Arthur Blank said yesterday in the press conference that the fan base hasn't given up. You saw the last two home games. The fan base gave up. The fan base gave up for the season. They'll be back next year. They were there all over the place in the second game. They
were never there in the first place.
No, it was a packed crowd. It was a packed crowd the second week.
For the other team.
No. It was a sea of green, but it was a sea of red for sure.
It was a sea of green because it was the Packers, okay? It's the Packers. They trade. They travel.
But no, it was
No, you got to admit, the Atlanta fan is a fair weather fan. It's a sucky
I think when it comes to professional football and basketball, yes, for sure. As much as like the allegiances are there and everything's like everyone's they're a big football fan and everything. No, these two fan bases are I mean, it's a laughing stock. It really is a joke. I mean, the only team they care about, and sometimes you have instances with the Braves too where people kind of go away a little bit, but the Braves are what that town cares about. These other two teams.
You're telling me that you don't remember Braves playoff games that were not sold out? You don't remember Braves playing the Cubs in the playoffs and having more Cubs fans there that seemed like the Braves fans?
I'm not those fans. I would have been there if I had the money. I would have been there.
You're not, but I'm just saying we have seen that before with Braves in the baseball playoffs where
I think people should realize that. But I get it, and I think it's the city as a whole. Obviously, it's not a great city.
Yeah.
Transplant city, a lot of people are – it's like here. There's so many different fan bases here. You have so many different people that like so many different types of sports. So not only do we have to – we have Alabama and Auburn every single day. Yeah, we don't have any pro teams. That we don't have allegiances or anything like that. We don't go – I can't go down the street to a bar – and when there's a Falcons game on, and there'll be like 30, maybe even 15 Falcons fans sitting in there. You know what I mean? Maybe even 2. There's not that. And that's the kind of, even in Atlanta, like if you go to Park Bar and somewhere close to the stadium, there are bars that are specifically game day. Yeah, great and everything like that. But like once the game's over, I mean, everybody goes home. It's, and everybody lives outside the city. They don't live in the city yet. So.
All right. The story is Michigan winning the national championship. I don't know how we got on the Falcons again. Michigan winning the national championship is a thing. And, of course, that would be like me. I mean, let's talk about the Browns and the Houston Texans. I mean, come on now.
Hey, no, seriously, though. Congratulations to Wolverine Dan. Congratulations to Michigan. I said Michigan was going to win, too.
Who is Wolverine Dan? I don't know who that is.
Danny. I'm sorry.
Natty
that is
Danny.
Weird to call him that anyway. I won't call him that. I'll just call him Dan.
He's Natty Danny. He's got himself a natty.
Your show, not mine.
Listen, that's right. 75 years, okay? 75 years. The dude's been alive for 65 years, and they have a half a national championship. Can we at least give him his due because it's been 75 years since he had an undisputed national championship. Let's get him in here first. Natty Danny. What happens if the Lions win the Super Bowl? Then what do we call you? Super Natty Danny? I mean, then what? Listen, he's not even there. Hey, I'm going to call you Stromboli Danny. What happened? Where are you?
Well, I'm outside. I just went to Walmart's, brother.
Well, you call a show, you got to get ready to go. When I say Natty Danny, see, you don't even know who I'm talking to. Do I need to call you Wolverine Dan so you know who I'm talking to?
No, Natty Danny. Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Well, I didn't hear you answering.
Hey, you got a remote today over at the furniture factory, right?
No. I don't. No. The drive will be down there, but not me.
Yeah,
What do you mean? You got a remote?
I make those. I'm trying to buy my supplies to make the Gwathney because West Neighbors likes my Gwathney.
What the hell does that have to do with me?
Well, I'm trying to be nice.
Okay, well, that's good. We take West Neighbors Glumpies. Yeah.
Hey, check this out. Here's the deal. This is how it plays out. So,
are you freaking kidding me right now with that?
By the way,
what is the buzzing?
We're doing a really bad job. We got Alabama basketball tonight. Alabama, South Carolina. That's the reason why the drive's not at Furniture Factory tonight.
The drive is not at Furniture Factory tonight. We got Alabama and South Carolina
Check
basketball.
the calendar.
Yeah, check the calendar.
Well, if they're not at the it's not at the Furniture Factory. They're not there. Well, you know what? Then I guess I'll still make them. I'll just make them for Ginger. How's that?
Well, that's fine, and you should give her your Golumke. And if you they'll be around somewhere. They're somewhere tomorrow, probably. Just make the Golumkes, and
well, you know what? Tomorrow
they'll probably be at full moon or something like that. You never know.
Yeah, I could do that. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll tell you what. Thanks for the info, and I'll touch them up tomorrow. Anyway, hey, so here's the deal. So next time we talk, from now on, well, Danny, you didn't win your last Danny since 1997. It was a half of one. Now you're going to say, yeah. All right. So if I ask a question to you, Tom, hey, Tom, we won the national championship. And you can say, oh, yeah, about less than 24 hours ago, you won. So from now on, you're going to say, yeah.
That's right. The 2023 national champions. There's no doubt about it.
Well, there you go. So it is what it is. So,
is it stained at all? Do you feel like it's stained at all?
No. It's a fanatic fan that was on the payroll that got out of hand. He probably has pictures of Harbaugh all over his bathroom and everything. He's that kind of guy.
Well, your coach was suspended for half the year. I mean, that's a thing, right? Do you think they give him? Does he get his full bonus? You know how your coaches get $1 million bonus if they win the national championship? Do you think they like prorated his bonus? Does he get like a full playoff share since he missed half the season, or no?
Well, actually, he should get more because of the crap he had to go through, and the hoops he had to jump, and all this, supposed scandals and everything. Bottom line is this, Thomas. Bottom line is this team. And we touched on it yesterday. We talked about it. Defensively, this team has been sound all year long, and our offense productivity tapered off with JJ. JJ, and they had nothing to do with no one plays or whatever. JJ just has not played that well.
Just a coincidence.
Part of the second half of the season.
Yeah, just a coincidence. That's all. It's just a coincidence that in the first 7 games, 17 touchdown passes, and in the last 8 games, 2. Just a coincidence. I'm sure.
Well, it's just a coincidence, Tom.
It's just a coincidence.
It's all good because you know what? I got such a good feeling. I think this might parlay into a Lions NFC championship. So I get to go to the bank. I get to go to the casino and get my cash.
Who cashed on this was Keith, the Michigan fan.
Because
he had him to win it. He had him to win the Natty. Yeah.
If he calls, I want to know what his odds was when he laid down, and hopefully he laid down a president, like, the one with the bald head with the skullet.
Oh, he doesn't nickel dime it. No, Keith, the Michigan fan, isn't one of these nickel dimer guys.
Oh,
I mean, it was at least a dead president. I mean, it was a Franklin. It had to be at least a Franklin.
You know what? And if you're listening, Keith, that and if you did put a lot down, more power to you. But guess what? The winning comes with a 1099 because Uncle Sam gets his, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah. I wonder if you get to deduct your travel expenses to go over to the casino and stuff. You know what I mean? I wonder if he could turn in expenses for driving back and forth. $50 worth of gas. Take that off the winnings.
In closing, with that said, we were talking about it. I tell you, Keith, that was easy money. Okay, you made good money. And the only thing easier than that is blowing paint through a straw.
All right.
Did you get that? Did you understand what that was?
I heard it, and I'm not sure I understand it.
I know you're kind of shocked, and this is not normal for you. But Tom, you can get on my bandwagon. You could be a Michigan man, all right? And you
That's
do
not
a good
get crazy,
job
man.
too. I will say, hey, I'll compliment you when you say Michigan. Oh, Wolverine, you do a pretty good job. I like it.
Yeah, well, to the victor goes the spoils when they are the victors. So help to the victors.
See you later, guys. See you.
All right, appreciate you. It is what it is. Get one in this century, one in last century. I mean, it's good. All right, we get a break. The Phillip was on hold, and he's gone now. If he comes back, we'll get him up. We've got Paulie, we got Bama Brad, we got room to get you in at 256-576-4977. We're taking those phone calls. More next, right after this. Wide open first hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If your home needs updating or you have some projects that you just haven't gotten to, Eagle can help. They install shower doors, mirrors, shelving, blinds, bath hardware, and lots more. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here to enjoy another great football season with y'all. And guess what? The salmon are running, so make sure you try our delicious lemon garlic salmon. And for you land lovers, try our sizzling char grill flat iron Callaway steak complemented with our special shrimp etouffee. And you'll definitely want to tackle our Alabama hot chicken smothered in our zesty and tangy immune boosting special Alabama hot sauce. Baumhauer's legendary fun and legendary food.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Alabama's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're really going to begin to quiet down as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. Wednesday's going to start off on the cooler end of the spectrum. Looks like we're going to start the day in the low and mid-30s. A partly sunny sky through Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-40s, dropping into the mid-30s through the overnight and early into your Thursday morning. Plenty of sunshine on Thursday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic day across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s, dropping into the mid-40s through the overnight. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky on Friday afternoon. Friday also brings about our next opportunity for rain to the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's perfect.
I'm ready. Show. Been a lot of breaking things going on today and everything else. I do not have the final numbers for the trifecta. I will get those for you. If I can get them before the end of the show, I will. But there were so many picks, and now I'm doing a multiplier based on those of you that picked Michigan and so on. So I will get those numbers updated for you, certainly, if not today, by tomorrow's show. This segment of the show is brought to you by Pond La Hockey Giordano. When you've been hurt in an injury at work or a motor vehicle injury or a slip and fall accident, you need Pond La Hockey. They are there they're not just excellent attorneys, but they're true advocates for you, and they'll fight for you, and they know all the ins and outs of the legal game. It's Pond La Hockey, Alabama's injury law firm. They've got your back. For personalized and dedicated legal support, reach out to Pond La Hockey at 855-774-3838. That's 855-774-3838 or pondlahockey.com. Grumpy hit the text window saying Nasty Danny was not ready for his call. And that Harbaugh coached half the game, so he gets a half a championship.
Half the season, yeah.
So they had a half a championship in 97. So does Harbaugh get a half a championship this year? The team gets the full championship. Harbaugh gets a half a championship. All right. Let me get to these lines here. Is this last call screen correct? That's what I'm asking you over here. That last one correct there, Grizz?
Yep.
Okay, then let me get the Phillip in here. Because this is a dude we have not heard from in a month. Phillip, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fantastic. Just finished my sponge bath.
Yeah.
Number one, Michigan Danica, yeah, there. Wolverine Danica. That is definitely an asterisk thing. I forgot they even played last night. Okay, so you covered that, the whole cheating and stuff, the scumbagginess of that, and the university that kept the scumbag, which really stains the entire school. But did they beat an SEC team for the championship?
Well,
No.
kind of, because they beat Alabama in the semifinal in overtime.
I'm talking about in the championship game.
No.
Okay, so that's a half a one. Maybe he's got a whole one now.
Yeah.
So, so in the event that you were to get a call from my cousin Nancy, number one, would you rally the troops and get me a Dallas Cowboys casket?
A Dallas Cowboy casket. So if I get the call from Nancy and she says that Phillip is taking the dirt nap, what you want to know is whether or not we would get together and maybe do a fundraiser and raise enough money to get you a Dallas Cowboys casket.
And have Moulton get Troy to come and sign my casket.
Now you want a Troy Aikman signed Dallas Cowboys casket. You know what? I'm going to tell you yes, because you're not going to know whether or not we got it done or not. You'll be in the ground. So yeah. In fact, we'll get them all to sign it. We'll get Michael Irvin and we'll get Emmett Smith. Yeah, we'll get Emmett to sign it. We'll get Jerry. We'll get Jared to sign it as well, and we'll get everybody to sign your casket. What the hell? I'll tell you anything. You're going to be dead. You're not going to know the difference.
All right.
Mm.
But I will be watching.
Let me ask you a question. For our listeners' sake, how close did you come to taking the dirt nap?
Pretty close, dude.
Oh, boy.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Well, we're glad that you did.
All that. I'm doing better. I'm on the mend.
That's great. That's great. Are you going to be okay when my Green Bay Packers end the season for the Cowboys on Sunday?
That is not happening, my friend. The NFC Championship game will be in Dallas. I guarantee you that.
Who's going to beat the 49ers?
The Eagles.
So you got the Eagles beating Tampa Bay and then going and beating the 49ers, and then the Eagles at the Cowboys for the NFC Championship game. All right.
That's it. That's going to roll. And what is this
so the
thing
Lions
about...
So the Lions would be going to Dallas and getting whacked in the second round. So or the Rams. Who do you think, the Lions or the Rams?
Probably the Rams.
So the Rams are going to beat the Lions. So Matt Stafford's going to go get his first playoff game win in Detroit, and it's going to be as a member of the Rams. And then they're going to turn around and get whacked by the Cowboys in the second round. Okay.
Yes.
Could see it. If the Packers, if the Cowboys lose, back-to-back 12-win seasons. Jerry was non-committal today about Mike McCarthy. If the Cowboys were to lose, can you fathom Mike McCarthy getting blown out after a second straight 12-win season if they were to lose that game on Sunday? Is he coaching for his job?
I don't think he should be there now. So, I mean...
So you'd blow him out if they lost that game.
I still say the dude is a terrible game time manager. Horrible.
Figured out a way to win 12 games 2 years in a row.
Yeah. I don't care about that. About championship. Not about popularity or whatever. Hanging around.
I heard this morning on the NFL Network that if they don't at least, no, it was on, I think it was Stephen A. Smith that said it. If they don't at least make it to San Francisco for the NFC Championship game, that he should be in trouble. That they got to win the two games that they would play at home, they have to win. And he has to make it to the NFC Championship game. If he were to lose either game at home in the playoffs, that he should be in trouble. That's what they said on ESPN.
But it's Jerry, so who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, who knows? Like I said, he should have already been gone.
Yeah. Well, Jerry he was non-committal today. He said, Jerry said this morning that he wouldn't commit and say that, he says, we got a lot of football left to play. So we'll see.
And we do. We do. What, by the way, when was that? I wanted to get up with you so bad. When Tonga Tua Tayabola, whatever, and who's the other dude there, that both got whacked and are out of everything. Did that hurt your kind of Alabama thing there?
No, you talking about Tua and Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
Well, no, Tua's in the playoffs. They're going to the Dolphins. He had a great year. I mean, they're going to the Chiefs. It's going to be tough. It's Saturday night, and it's going to be 2 below 0, and that's going to be brutal.
They lost their last game, right?
They did. They lost to the Bills, and the Bills won the AFC East. Yeah, and Jalen Hurts, I mean, they lost 5 out of their last 6. The Eagles are circling the drain, but the Eagles are a 3-point favorite at Tampa Bay. In fact, in both cases, the 5 seeds, the Browns are a 3-point favorite at Houston, and the Eagles are a 3-point favorite at Tampa Bay. So the Eagles could get healthy in a hurry. That roster is just too good.
Ironic, isn't it? It's ironic. All right, well, that's all I got.
All right.
Sounds
good to hear your voice.
Good to hear from you.
All right.
See you, bye.
Good job by you. It's great to hear from him. Great to hear from the Phillip. All right, so we had Natty Danny. Next up is Natty Chatty. Let's see what Natty Chatty, Wolverine Chad, has to say. Natty Chatty? Are they going to call you Natty Chatty around the office now? Is that right, Chad?
Well, yes, sir. I think that's fair, right? After so many years of no championships, right?
Your whole life. right? I mean, for the most
I
part.
was 8 the last time we did this, so.
Well, no, you weren't, because the last time they did this, it was 1948. You got a half of one in 97. So you were 8 and 47.
Okay, I got you.
Did you watch? Did you and the old man watch together last night?
Yep, and there were
Nice.
libations and all kinds of different chicken wings involved. So I mean, it was
Nice.
a consistent college football game.
Your place or his place?
It was my place because I had to
Nice.
attend to the newborn. I've got a 2-month-old baby, Griffin Dean, and that's the final grandkid of Wolverine Dan. Oh, I'm sorry, Natty Danny.
Natty Day. So that's Natty Griffey now. Now for the shooter, it'll be Natty baby Natty Griffey, or is it Bama baby? Is that a Bama baby? It could be a Bama baby.
It could be a Bama baby because my oldest, who's 14, is trying to claim him as an Alabama fan, and right now I'm kind of leaving him undecided. I'm letting him get a little older than decide for himself.
Okay, you're gonna let them decide for themselves. Okay.
Yep,
All
that's
right.
what I did with my middle child, and that's what I did with Aiden. So
Yeah, I did not do that with any of my children. I've got
Just
9,
forced
and yeah, well, I
Good
just
man.
indoctrinate them. Yeah, there was no, they weren't going to have options. I was going to have fans of other teams in my house.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you, but I got a couple stats and a couple points on the game. First of all, I just want to say this is the first team to allow less than 25 points in all 15 games since Minnesota 120 years ago.
That's amazing.
And the 303 most rushing yards, that's in the most rushing yards in a BCS CFP title game. And that's actually 2 more yards than Washington got total. And I'll say this, it's been an excellent season, excellent year. I would say there has been 4 games that have been very special to me. My first one is my first Michigan road game with Natty Danny himself in Nebraska. Seeing that game live in person. Also the Big Ten Championship with my son Ian and also my mom Wolverine Ginger. And then there were 2 more games I got to go to. Thank God for Connor Stallion.
Wow.
He hooked me up with tickets. I got to go watch Arkansas and Ole Miss in person. And, I got to say, man, it's cool to watch as a fan, but to know that your contributions and your ability to, witness these games, like at Alabama, like I did, helped your team win a championship, that's big time for me. So
Yeah,
that's all I got to say.
all right, it's a good job by you.
Yeah.
So now we know who took over for Connor Stallions.
Well, there's an
Natty.
investigation going on, so I can't quite give you the full description there. So
Right. All right. It's a good job by you, Chad. Appreciate
Yep. Natty Chatty out.
So now we know who picked up for Connor Stallions. It's Natty Chatty.
Got his tickets.
Sending the video information to the staff. All right.
Bunch of cheaters.
Let's try and not be that way. My Grizz. Let's try and not go there.
I feel bad. I get it. You didn't let your kids pick whatever team they wanted, but I feel bad sometimes with my brother. I'm a Falcons fan. He loves the Hawks more than me, the Falcons more than me, and I'm just like every day I'm just like, you at any time. He's like, no, man. He's stubborn. He's like, no, we'll stick to it.
So he's not he is a Falcons fan.
Yeah, he's a Falcons fan through and through.
So what are you saying? Anytime what?
I was like, anytime he wants to change, you know what I mean? Because I put it
Why
on
would
him.
he
I feel like I
change?
put it on him. You know what I mean?
You can't
because
change.
he grew up. Because he grew up like me.
I put it on my kid, and the Browns moved. They went to Baltimore when my kid was 7 years old.
He grew up like me. He grew up like me. He grew up here, so he grew up with there's no pro team. So it's when he was growing up. He had a Peyton Manning jersey. He had a Amari Cooper jersey. He had a Julio Jones jersey. There were all these different ones, but mostly they were Alabama affiliated types jerseys, but they weren't the same team. And
why not the Titans for him? You're a little older, but why not
I
the
liked the
Titans
Titans before I moved to Atlanta. I loved watching the Titans. Also,
so you flipped.
I just liked watching teams. I didn't have a team, and it took until literally, obviously, how it always happens in middle school and high school and everything like that, where your friends pressure you to the point where it's like, you don't have a pro team. Why don't you have a pro team? Get a pro team. You can't have more than one pro team. And I just feel like that's one of those things where real fans today will tell you that they're not going to be a fan of another team. Come on.
You did?
I never flipped. I was never a Titans fan.
You said
I
like the Titans.
I can pull for the Titans. I don't say I was a fan of the Titans. I never had Titans gear or anything like that. No.
I have a Green Bay Packers
I watched the
hat.
Titans at a quote commercial watching party at a church locally here.
I have an Atlanta Braves hat. You see me wear that sometimes. That's my National League team. I like the Braves.
That is my team through and through. There will not be another team. That is my team. I will.
Who do you pull for in the American League? You got to have an American League team.
Nobody. Can't pull for a team. I can respect and watch a team and like a team, sure.
Yeah.
But I can't pull for a team. Because, like, what if they end up playing? Like, then I'm going to have to go.
Then
the Braves,
when that happens. No, when that happens, like when the Yankees played the Braves in his World Series, it was all Yankees. Let me get Paulie in here. He's waited patiently. Paulie's in the Cape.
In 2 days.
Paulie's been waiting since yesterday when he called the show because he's a good pig. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you?
Go Dolphins.
Paulie's been on hold since 1 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah. And I can't believe they didn't call the 2 blocking the backs on that punt return. I mean, I've seen less where the guy even puts his hands up and the ref goes, no, you still hit him in the back. And they blew 2 calls. But they're able to call 4. Oh, illegal man downfield, ineligible receiver. 4 of them. They can see that happening in the blink second, but they can't see 2 blocking the back.
Did you see the hold last night on Michigan's first long touchdown run? Did you see the hold right at the point of attack when the kid turned the corner? The Michigan offensive lineman grabbed a hold of the jersey of the defender, of Washington's defender, and literally almost ripped his jersey off of him. And it was right at the point of attack, and they didn't call it. It was like, well, Michigan's getting the calls tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But, hey, finally, a Big Ten team wins the national champion. How many SEC teams done it before there was a sprinkling of an ACC team? Like, 4 in a row, 5 in a row?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think 16, I don't know, 16 out of the last 20 or something like that. It's good for it's good for college football to give those people a little taste. Now they got a little taste.
Well,
Ohio State won one in 2015. Michigan wins one in 2023. And the favorites next year are Alabama and Georgia. So there you go.
Well, and then going to this, it's going to be 2 seasons. Are they going to cut down the regular season because they were going to talk about, the poor kid's future? It's over because they played the billion games.
Yeah, no. The team that wins the national championship next year will play 17 games. The teams that play, both teams that play in the national championship next year will have played 17 games. So that's all right. That's okay. They can do that.
Yeah, they're kids. They're young kids. They're growing. It's okay.
Yeah, they're all right.
But as
they
far
got,
as
they have a lot more depth than the NFL. I mean, they got 100 guys on the sideline, and they play 2 of the. And usually these teams play 2 or 3 games that are JV games. You know what I mean? Where you're playing some Sisters of the Poor team. Well, I mean, come on, they can play 17.
Like I said, pay attention. Pay attention that you're going to see now when it's this big, huge playoff format now, and all these teams that say we're as good as, teams that have 5-star football players on, you're going to see those spreads where you're going to make easy money on the first round, and then you get the backdoor cover problems because then it's like, well, they're pretty good, blah, blah, blah. They took them for granted. But if you're not making money on that first bracket, then I don't know what to tell you, because you saw with Florida State, everybody's, even though with the injury, they didn't have the injury. What happened to Florida State and what happened to Liberty, I mean, you see the levels. What was that?
You just said Liberty and Florida State in the same breath. You dropped Liberty and Florida State. I made a comment on a show that I was on, a different show, not my show, that I was a guest on, was that if Florida State, I said, look, let's be honest. If Florida State had all of their starters, including their quarterback, Jordan Travis, they probably would have only lost by 30. They got beat by 60. Yeah.
But the point I'm making with Florida State is also people go and transfer. Now I'm not going to play, going to the NFL.
Yeah, right,
But the transfer problem, too. Like you saw how many teams are 4 or 5 guys that are pretty decent, and, the core of the team. Well, I'm going to go into the transfer portal. I'm not even going to do it. So I'm just saying, with the mix, you're going to see some of these teams that get a little better. They look real great, and then when they get into this bracket against a strong Big 10, Big 12, SEC team, they're going to get crushed.
Look, the way it should be, even with the 12 teams next year. Thanks for the call, Paulie. That's a good job by you. I appreciate you holding since yesterday. The reality is this. there should be 4 Big Ten teams and 4 SEC teams in that 12-team field next year. That's the truth. That's all there is the Big Ten and the SEC in college football. There'll be a team out of the Big 12. There will be a team out of the ACC because the rules say that automatic qualifier. There will be a team out of 2 other conferences that aren't, that are group of 5 conferences. There's going to be a Sun Belt team. There's going to be an American Conference team. There's going to be a Big 12 team. There's going to be an ACC team. That's 4. The other 8 should be from the Big Ten and the SEC, period. In order of the longest wait. I don't even know who's next. I think Bama Brad is next. Bama Brad, welcome to the show. How are you?
Tom, I'm good, man. I'm sitting in my office here at home. I'm looking at my houndstooth. I'm looking at all the crimson banners.
Yeah.
And I heard Wolverine Dan yesterday, and I'm going to call him Wolverine Dan. You have to have more than one championship, one full championship in 75 years to go to that other word he wants us to call it. So, he said the other day, he was in 97, he had a flag, and he got out in the neighborhood and was running up down the neighborhood with his banner, his flag. So I'm thinking, if that wasn't a half a flag back then, he can go ahead and get out there and run up and down the thing now because he has a full flag.
A full flag. So, that's right. The whole M now. Instead of having an M that looks like a V, because it's like a half an M, it'd be a V. Now he can go with a full M and run up and down the neighborhood. And he's probably bigger than he was in 97, so he needs the full flag now to cover himself all up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But, you got to have one full legitimate national championship before you can call yourself that name.
Yeah.
And, and run up and down the street with that flag. So,
right.
But congratulations to him. I'm happy for him. He got to see one in his lifetime. So,
he got to see one in his life.
He got one. Everybody gets their one.
He got one, and let me tell you something. He won't be alive the next one they get. I mean, I'm just saying. The chances are he will not be alive. I mean, it's just the way it is.
And the good thing is, I heard this morning that they're raising Chad's raising his son to be an Alabama fan. So, I think he said he's 14. So, I mean, he's seen 5 times the championships that Wolverine Dan has seen.
Yeah, the 14-year-old is already an Alabama fan. Now the question will be, what will the baby be? And the baby, the brother should have more impact. I mean, look, in all fairness, to give the child a satisfying life, they should make the kid a Bama fan. I mean, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
I mean, why would you do that to your child?
Yeah, it'd be wrong to do anything other than that.
No, having said that, I made all of my sons and my daughters that follow football, they're all Browns fans. So that's a bad job by me. But they're also Yankees and Alabama fans, so they get to see some winning there.
Yeah. I raised mine as an Alabama fan, but he's a college official now, so he can't have any allegiance. So I still remind him of that. But anyway. But congratulations to Wolverine Dan. If you want to call him that other Thom, that's between you and your man.
I said I would. I
can't do
it. I know, and that's fine. But I said on the air that he could be Natty Danny, and so I'm going to call him Natty Danny, and then we'll just go from there.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the national championship was last game anyway. But they beat us. They beat us fair and square. They were the best team in football this year, and congratulations to them.
All right, appreciate you, Brad. It's a good job by you. To that point, I'm going to get to the final AP poll. I mean, Alabama fan last night had to be spitting blood because Alabama had Michigan beat. I mean, Michigan comes up with that great drive at the end of that game to tie the game and then beat them in overtime. How close was Alabama to another national championship, to 19? I mean, that's how close they were. They had them beat. Because as you watch that game last night, you say, well, this Washington team wouldn't beat Alabama. And I'm trying to get in my head how Alabama had Michigan on the ropes, the national champion, had them beat. Had the national champion had to come back, score late, and beat Alabama in overtime. Alabama beat Georgia the week before, the game before, and somehow when the final AP poll came out, Alabama was ranked number 5, behind Georgia. Now, I think Georgia would beat Michigan right now. I mean, if they played like Thursday night, I think Georgia wins the national championship. But that's not the point. Alabama beat Georgia, and the national champion had to go into overtime to beat Alabama, yet you put Washington, Texas, Georgia ahead of Alabama. I mean, Alabama could have been 2 or 3. But, Washington beat Texas, so they're going to be ahead of Texas. But Alabama beat Georgia. Alabama ends up 5, Georgia ends up 4. All right, I got to get a break. When we come back, I know I got another Wolverine fan in here somewhere. When we come back, Maize and Blue Frank will end out the hour next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Injuries at work happen all the time in Alabama. So do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. If you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, I want you to call my good friends at Pond Lehocky Giordano. That's Pond Lehocky, Alabama's injury law firm. They got your back just like they've got mine. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
It's official. 47 years in a row, Ford F-150 is the best-selling truck in America. Come drive one and you'll see why. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to kickstart the new year in a brand new F-150. Choose from nearly 200 F-150s, and we think you'll find just the right one. Right now, we have financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150s, and lease payments as low as $389 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $62.82 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends January 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have nearly 50 2023 Explorers for you to choose from, too, with financing as low as 0.9% for up to 60 months. Plus, check out our over 40 24 Bronco Sports and a fresh truckload of the full-size Broncos that have just hit the ground. Come on over and let's get the new year rolling. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan at Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
Orthopedics. You're thinking bones, muscles, and joints, right? Well, what else comes to mind? Maybe your spine, therapy, or an arm cast? What about sports medicine? What do you think about when you hear that? Are you thinking about the largest orthopedic group in the state, caring for the most student athletes in North Alabama? Or about the fact that they are teamed up with the state's largest hospital-based sports medicine program to provide care to more schools in North Alabama than any other group? If you are, you have TOC Sports and Huntsville Hospital Sports Center on the brain. If you're not, you should, because Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports have partnered for more than 2 decades to establish a state-of-the-art team of certified athletic trainers and orthopedic specialists who successfully continue to meet and exceed the sports medicine needs of schools, athletes, coaches, and parents in our community. Committing to kids, committing to community, committing to care. That's Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC Sports.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Amazing Blue Frank in here. And that music's on fire. Okay, we don't. All right, so I got two more Michigan fans that want to get loose, and I just can't get you in right now. I don't have enough time for Amazing Blue Frank and Keith the Michigan fan. We will have time. I got a couple of interviews coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about Michigan's national championship win with Paul Harvey from Saturday Tradition, where he covers everything Big Ten. So we'll talk to him next. You guys will enjoy that. And if you hang around or come back, either way, I promise you guys will get the opportunity to finish things off for me today, later on in the 1 o'clock. But coming up next is Paul Harvey, Saturday Tradition. Talking about what this all means for the 10, what it means for Michigan, what it means for Jim Harbaugh. I'm Tom Abraham, and this is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Christine Lisi. What's next for Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh now that he's led his team to an undefeated season and their first national championship since 1997? He's not saying yet, as he has for the past few weeks. Harbaugh deflected questions about his future, only saying he wants to enjoy this, adding that he hopes to have a future. Harbaugh is expected to be a hot coaching candidate this NFL head coaching cycle. Michigan is facing possible NCAA sanctions for violations. Colts owner Jim Irsay, who has not been seen publicly for weeks, is being treated for a respiratory illness, according to the team. The Colts also said he is receiving excellent care. NBA, John Morant's season is over. The Grizzlies superstar guard needs surgery to repair a tear in his right shoulder. He was hurt in practice on Saturday. Morant is expected to be fully recovered for the start of next season. Memphis is 7-20 without their superstar this season.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance, to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center and Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman, we're really going to begin to quiet down as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. Wednesday's going to start off on the cooler end of the spectrum. Looks like we're going to start the day in the low and mid-30s. A partly sunny sky through Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-40s, dropping into the mid-30s through the overnight and early into your Thursday morning. Plenty of sunshine on Thursday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic day across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s, dropping into the mid-40s through the overnight. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky on Friday afternoon. Friday also brings about our next opportunity for rain to the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sports Talk 24/7 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
You need to be more like a dog. Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show here on a Top 10 Tuesday. I do have Top 10s. We'll see if we can't get those in for you a little bit later on. This segment of the show is brought to you by the service team at Woody Anderson Ford. Experts in the service of Ford and other makes. They use genuine Ford and Motorcraft parts on every Ford service job. They're doing tire rotations down there, wheel alignments, brake jobs, oil changes, engine tune-ups, even tranny work. They do it in the service department and the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center, and they have got your Ford or other make covered. I know that this is important to Bobby White because he is always meeting with the service team. Every morning he starts his day out in the service department. That's how important it is, and they do a tremendous job. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com to learn more. Also check out the inventory of certified gold pre-owned vehicles. I am constantly pulling my vehicles out of there. You can do the same, and of course the new inventory as well. It's Woody Anderson Ford. All right, now we gave you your time to sound off. I will get your phone calls going again here a little bit later on in the hour, but now a chance to talk to Mr. Paul Harvey from Saturday Tradition about this win for Michigan, and he joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Paul, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are y'all doing today?
We are fantastic. Of course, we had a joke about your name. I'm sure everybody does. You know, it's the rest of the story with Paul Harvey. Your parent. Did you ever ask your parents? You know, why did they drop that on you? I mean, what is up with it? Why'd you have to get? Our last name is Harvey. Why couldn't you name me Bill? Why'd you have to name me Paul? And I have to carry this famous name around with me for my whole life.
Yeah, so a lot actually went into that. We'll say that for another day. But I was originally going to get a different name. They swapped it at my birth, and my dad said, no one will ever know. And, of course, everybody above the age of 30 absolutely knows. But, it works for the business that we're in, and I just take it and run with it.
Yeah, I hear you. That's good stuff. All right, let's talk big picture first, and then we'll kind of narrow things down a little bit. For the Big Ten itself, how important was this to get this victory? Two teams that will meet again next year as Big Ten teams. They'll meet in October next year out west as Big Ten teams. But how important was it for the 10 to break the grip that the SEC has had on this national championship and for them to get another one here as we enter the next phase, now going to a 12-team playoff and with further expansion in both the 10 and the SEC?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge on a couple levels. First of all, getting Washington into the playoff, into the championship instead of Texas was a big win for the Big Ten, obviously with them joining the league next season. But as for Monday's game, I think it was even more important in regard to the Big Ten that Michigan win this game and win it really in an impressive fashion in the way that they did. Because we do understand, if Washington won that game, the Big Ten's going to take credit for that in some way. I mean, technically it would go to the Pac-12, but with Washington on the way to the Big Ten, the league would take credit for it. But I think you would still have those detractors around the country it's by default that the Big Ten got that. But instead, you have Michigan rolling in, really just pushing Washington around for most of the game, making their mark. And, we'll have plenty of conversations about validity, I'm sure, down the road for this entire saga around Michigan. But at least in terms of on the field, they left no doubt that they were the bigger, better, stronger, faster team. And pretty much what we saw last week against Alabama as well. I mean, Michigan just had their way at the line of scrimmage throughout the game, and that was the difference.
I said when they beat Alabama that they beat Alabama playing SEC football, and I thought that was a critical thing, that, this was a big, strong, physical team. What has, and you look at the way Georgia, defense still wins championships. We saw it with Georgia the last couple of years. We saw it when Alabama was winning national championships. When Clemson was winning them, they were playing great defense, and it's always been the way. Ohio State, even all the way back to 2014 season, 2015 championship, playing great defense to help with their offense. So it seems like it started there. And there was question as to whether or not the numbers were skewed because Michigan's schedule was kind of soft this year until the end. But they showed against a high-powered offense that they were not to be trifled with. I mean, they were physical with Alabama, and then they just completely manhandled Washington.
Yeah, and I'll admit I was among some of those, maybe not detractors, but I definitely had questions. Even when you look at the entirety of the Big Ten schedule and Ohio State and their makeup this year. Ohio State had really good pieces on offense, but it was not a typical Ryan Day offense by any stretch of the imagination. So coming into this game, I did have questions. Will they be able to hang with Washington? And I mean, if you look at the box score, you see the one sack and it makes you kind of scratch your head a little bit. But anybody that watched that game, Michael Penix was not comfortable for any part of it. He was constantly off the spot, and you saw him by the end of the fourth quarter. I mean, the dude was limping around. He was in pain, and Michigan just had their way with him all night long.
Yeah, there was no doubt about it. Paul Harvey with us from Saturday Tradition, where they cover the Big Ten, and this is definitely a feather in the cap of the Big Ten to get this victory. All right, so now we zero in on Jim Harbaugh, and let's talk about that a little bit, and the fact that, Harbaugh has maybe coached his last game. I mean, look, we were wondering if Harbaugh could win the big game, right? I mean, it took 9 years. He couldn't beat Ohio State, much less win a national championship. And then, of course, not only did they begin to beat Ohio State the last couple of years, now making the playoffs and now winning the playoff. What is left for Jim Harbaugh? I mean, he could stay there for 10 more years and maybe win another one or whatever, be like Nick Saban, maybe put the statue up, all of that. Or at age 60, does he go back to the NFL and take a shot at getting that Super Bowl?
Well, I'll tell you what, I heard this morning Paul Feinbaum say that he was wrong on Jim Harbaugh. And if I'm Jim Harbaugh, there is absolutely nothing left to prove at Michigan. I mean, we know the Feinbaum and Harbaugh feud as long as he's been at Michigan. if he's got Feinbaum being a believer after this season, then, pretty much close the case on what Harbaugh can do at Michigan in my eyes. But, yeah, I've all along kind of felt that Harbaugh wanted to get that shot at the duo national title and Super Bowl combination there as a head coach. And I think in his eyes, he knows if he finds the right NFL organization, he can get a team back to the Super Bowl. Whether that's the truth or not, I don't know, but I have no reason to tell him he can't do that after what he did with the 49ers. And I think the biggest piece for him was, when's my best shot to get a title? Mm-hmm. And I think it was this year. I think the closer he got to it, it looked like his best shot. And, lo and behold, it was. He pulled it off. And you look at what Michigan's looking at heading into next season, even if J.J. McCarthy decides to stay for his senior year, which is up for debate, that roster is going to be significantly different. Now, obviously, with the transfer portal, we could see Michigan reload in impressive fashion. Plenty of teams have done it. But no matter what, there are going to be significant question marks on the roster coming out of this season. So what's left for Jim Harbaugh to do in Ann Arbor? That's really up to the man himself. But from the outside looking in, it's going to be hard for him to come off of this and produce something else bigger than this in 2024.
Yeah, definitely in 2024. And, going back to back would be difficult. And you almost wonder whether or not I'm still mixed as to whether or not it'll be harder or easier for teams to win a national championship coming out of a 12-team playoff. Certainly the chances of making the playoff are better. They can make the playoff with a loss to Ohio State and a 10-2 record or whatever. Then they end up still in the play. So you're in the tournament. You get hot. You win. You can win the thing. On the other hand, in a way, it feels like he would win a Super Bowl before he would win another national championship. I mean, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. This is 75 years into coming to win an undisputed national championship. It seems like this is a perfect exit point, for him.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that point. You think about if Harbaugh left after 2021 or 2022 back to the NFL, there would have been some uneasy feelings in the fan base, right? Mm-hmm. And Ward Manuel even said, the AD there at Michigan said after the win last night, if Harbaugh leaves now, he gets it. He understands the pull of the NFL. He would be sad for Michigan, but he would be happy that Harbaugh gets another shot at the NFL. I think that's the consensus probably among Michigan fans, since Harbaugh did finish it off with a title. If he leaves now, okay, great. Hey, you got us back to the top. We're champions. There's really nothing else you can accomplish here. Thank you for that. Go get your Super Bowl. And I agree with you. The 12-team playoff is going to be interesting, but I don't think it makes it easier for anybody. I mean, especially when you consider teams like Georgia that were left out this year would have been back in the field trying to get hot at the right time. It's easier to get in, sure, but it's not going to be easier to win it, I don't think.
Yeah, and I wonder if a part of the Michigan contingent, the administration there, and others might kind of in a way be, man, glad we got this one. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, maybe this would be a good time to go, because this aggravation is not over. Yeah. I mean, the NCAA still got to finish up their investigation. Who knows what the NCAA is going to do, about this deal? The 3 games suspended. I mean, the guy was suspended for half the season this year of the regular season. I mean, maybe it's the perfect time because of that too. I don't know that there would be a lot of tears shed, if he left, and because there just seems to be with some Michigan folks, maybe a feeling of this is a little bit greasy, what's been going on here in the last year or two.
Yeah, and there's no way around that, regardless of what happened Monday night. Like you said, there's still a cloud over this coaching staff, over this program moving forward. I mean, it dates back even to, you look at Weiss, the OC being fired in the offseason. I mean, it's been trending in a negative direction for Harbaugh's staff, and kind of like you said, I'm not sure there would necessarily be too many hard feelings if he does leave. I mean, whatever the NCAA decides to do, they're kind of a mixed bag. Anybody trying to predict how they're going to respond to an investigation, it's really a moot point. But I could see a potential where if Harbaugh leaves, it may, in a sense, lessen what potentially comes down on the program itself moving forward. I mean, Harbaugh might have to deal with something if he were to ever come back into the college ranks. But I could see that scenario where it might actually benefit Michigan in the immediate future with that NCAA investigation if Harbaugh is not around for the fallout.
Do you think they definitely stay in-house? I mean, does Coach Moore get this job? Is that like the automatic if that were to happen? Or do you look at this and say, well, wait a minute here. This is a really sexy job. I mean, Kalen DeBoer, is a Midwest guy, and he just was on the other side of the field. And you wonder how much effort there would be to fill this job maybe from the outside.
Yeah, and that's a really, really tough question because it seems like there's been a growing support for Moore to be that kind of head coach in waiting. But I think people need to take a step back if Harbaugh does leave and reevaluate that just because of what Michigan is at this point, right? Like Harbaugh has reestablished Michigan at the top. This isn't the program where it was even when Harbaugh was stepping in 10 years ago. So handing Sharon Moore the keys to the program at this point, that's risky. I mean, I understand. Definitely give him all the props for what the team did when Harbaugh wasn't there this year. There's no denying what he can do as one of the best assistant coaches in the country. He is deserving of a head coaching job. But I think you got to be a little more careful before you just say, okay, you're stepping in to lead Michigan after this season, if that's how things play out. I think you would have to at least kick the tires on a top flight proven head coach. And obviously you want to keep Moore around as much as possible if you were to look outside. But yeah, I don't think this is a situation for everything that he's done. I don't think you can just say, hey, here's the keys to the program, lead us on, even though he has shown what he can do in an acting head coach situation.
Well, don't forget Jesse Minter either. I mean, this kid, he is the one. That's a name that's going to be hot. I mean, that's the guy that built the best defense in the country and ultimately, squeezed the life out of Alabama and Washington in the playoffs. I mean, I'd be looking long and hard at Jesse Minter and what his future might hold.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is not to take anything at all away from Moore, but if you look at Michigan's playoff run, by far the more impressive performance of the two is Jesse Minter's defense. I mean, they just absolutely stunned Alabama at the start of the Rose Bowl and felt like you could see it in the players' eyes and some of the coaches' eyes. Like Alabama just was shocked at the start, and then they just kept that going all the way to the finish. So you're absolutely right on that. I mean, Jesse Minter, he's up there. He's also going to be getting calls, and it's no matter how this thing plays out, Michigan could be looking at a much, much different coaching staff with or without Harbaugh next season.
No doubt about it. Great job done by Paul Harvey covering Michigan and everything Big Ten for Saturday Tradition. Paul, I appreciate you so much. Good stuff. And we'll look forward to chatting again. Don, I miss college football. I tweeted it out earlier. I'm like, oh, I miss college football. I'm already missing it, man. As that game was winding down, I was so melancholy. And I love the NFL, and I know we got the playoffs and a month worth of that coming up before the Super Bowl, but I miss college football already.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Appreciate you. It's true. It's true. I miss college football. I miss Grizz, too. Apparently, the Bandy Man is in the studio now. Either that or Grizz lost weight and grew a beard. I'm looking through the window and I see a different dude in there.
Hey, we did a substitution.
A quick little
WWE tag match.
He tagged him out. He tagged Grizz out. No, Grizz had a doctor appointment scheduled, so we'll have the Bandyman in there for the rest of the show. All right, we're going to break in here. When we come back, Chris George joins us, the father of Melissa George. It is the Melissa George night coming up again at a Huntsville Havoc game on January 20th, Saturday night. And I believe, I may be making this up, but I believe the Havoc are closing in on $1 million raised for the NICU unit over at Huntsville Hospital. We'll talk to Chris George next here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, Eagle can insulate your home and help you save money with fiberglass, spray foam, and cellulose insulation, and can help you decide what's best for your project. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Psst. Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're really going to begin to quiet down as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. Wednesday's going to start off on the cooler end of the spectrum. Looks like we're going to start the day in the low and mid-30s. A partly sunny sky through Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-40s, dropping into the mid-30s through the overnight and early into your Thursday morning. Plenty of sunshine on Thursday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic day across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s, dropping into the mid-40s through the overnight. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky on Friday afternoon. Friday also brings about our next opportunity for rain to the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
New coordinators.
That's as good as money, sir.
New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
All right, and you all may be taking the week off, all right, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. Whether you're in Alabama, Tennessee, or Florida, North Alabama Mortgage has all your mortgage needs covered. Average home equity is at an all-time high right now, but so is that average consumer debt. And you can get rid of that high debt, high interest debt by doing a refi on your home. And then when the rates come down, you go ahead and refi again. I mean, it's that simple. When the rates drop, and they will drop, they're going to come down. It's the same thing if you're looking to do a home improvement. Go ahead, use that equity in your home, do the home improvement. Don't be putting it on the Home Depot card or Lowe's card at 22% or whatever that might be. Go ahead and do it with the equity that you have in your home, and then you can refi that home equity loan as those rates come down later on. You can learn more about this by going to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Brian Hammaker and his team standing by locally, standing by to make it work for you. All right, speaking of local, I got to town in March of 2004, so that's 20 years ago now in March, and I guess it was about a year later than that, maybe, that the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund started, and now they've provided over $5 million for equipment for the neonatal ICU over at the Huntsville Hospital. And of course, we know about Melissa George Night, with the Huntsville Havoc, basically just about from the beginning. And it's always such a big night, and it'll happen again this year on January 20th. And joining us now to talk about that and more is Chris George, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Chris, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Tom. Thanks, man. I'm doing great.
I always say God won't give us anything that we can't handle. I've got 9 children and 11 grandchildren. I thankfully, none of them have had to go through, the neonatal ICU. Certainly never had to have, what happened to you guys 20 years ago or so with Melissa. I don't know. I don't know how I would get through it, but this was a great way to memorialize her, and look at all the good that has come from her short life.
Yeah, Tom, Amy and I, we say that, you hear the sayings all the time, time heals, right? Well, no, time doesn't heal. You get retrospect and you get perspective. And to think of all the good and all the impact and hope that Melissa's Fund has given families and made in the community, and, from the generous donations of people across the Tennessee Valley, that gives us part of our healing process and our grieving process, some sense of she's not been forgotten, and it's this night coming up, January 20th, is one of those nights. It's just a special night.
It is a very much a special night. What would she be? She'd be what, 20, 21 years old now?
She would be 18.
18 years old.
18 wow. years old. And Catherine, Melissa's twin, her little sister. Melissa was born first. She's a freshman at the University of Alabama, just finished her first semester, getting ready to start classes again tomorrow. And, they would have been 18. She'd been 18 years old.
How has it impacted her? I think about Catherine, and they say about the bond that there is between twins and so on. And they did share that 9 months, with Amy before they were born. But as time has gone on, how has it impacted her, knowing that, this fund that was done in the name of her twin sister has done so much good in the community?
We from day one after the girls were born, and Amy and I made it just important that Melissa was always going to be a part of her family and she would be talked about. And Catherine and Lily Baker, who came 17 months later, that's all they've ever known is and we didn't ask them to go on this ride with Melissa's Fund. They were thrown into it, and then Catherine and Lily Baker both have. They have been just, they get it. They understand it. I don't know, as a parent losing a child, and Catherine, for her, she lost her twin. So, there is a different dichotomy there for us. And we don't know, and Catherine she is thriving. She is so proud of all the work that's been done. Our whole family is. We're just thankful for a community that embraced Melissa's Fund and, has helped us, make a difference in the lives of premature infants throughout North Alabama.
you know, and you look at Catherine and you see Melissa too. You know, I mean, you have an idea what every day when you look at her, you see, you know, what Melissa would look like basically, because they were twins, and you know, it kind of keeps her life alive beyond everything too, as well as the fund, which has raised over $5 million. Now, I believe it was shortly after I got here when this whole thing started. I mean, I think that you know, Keith Jeffries and his wife Becky, they've been involved in this basically since the beginning with the Havoc, and I think they're closing in on around $1 million of this, you know, $5.3 million that's been raised over the years. About $1 million of it coming from this special night every year at the Havoc game.
We're closing in on that. Actually, we had the numbers pulled. Amy and I had recorded a podcast for Wreaking Havoc a couple months ago, and we had pulled those numbers, and just Melissa George night alone. So this will be number 18 through 17 games. That night has raised more than $850,000.
Wow.
You know, and that's incredible in itself. That's a testament to the Huntsville Havoc community, the fans, the hockey community. You know, this is one of those games where people may not go to a game all year, but they're going to come to Melissa George night because of either the experience they've had in the NICU or the impact it's made on their family. And it's a special one. It's a special one for these players. They get to tour the NICU. We'll go up there next week. They get to see the NICU. They get to see, you know, what that night is about, what Melissa's Fund, the equipment it has purchased. They'll get to see a 1 pound baby, a 2 pound baby. They'll get to see the equipment in play. They meet the nurses. So it's a special time for them as well, because not a lot of specialty nights that they do you get to see the impact that night does have.
Is it just the money that is raised from auctioning off the jerseys, or is there other donations that are made throughout that night at the arena where people, you know what, I'm not necessarily going to buy one of those 18 jerseys or so, but here I want to drop a $100 bill in a box somewhere, or a $10 bill or a $5 bill just to help.
Absolutely, you know, and we've come over the years, you know, Amy and I are very, you know, aware that not everybody can afford to buy a $1,000 jersey that night. And, you know, we've implemented things like there's mystery pucks now where players have autographed pucks, and you can buy one of those, or there's text to give, there's donation boxes, even bringing items to the game that night. Like there's a family waiting room, and, you know, it keeps stocked with, you know, snacks and gift cards and gas cards, because, you know, this is a regional neonatal intensive care unit. So it serves families from, you know, Florence to, you know, Fort Payne. So we've got families that are traveling a great distance to see their child in this NICU, and it can be an expense, especially if you have other children at home. So any type of, you know, gift card, crackers, snacks, Keurig cups, you know, onesies, diapers, those kinds of things are gladly accepted before the game. You know, fans can bring those, drop them off in the donation bins that we'll have up front, just as another way of giving back to the community in a way that maybe people can't afford a jersey. We understand that, and there's players will use different sticks for warm up. They'll use pink sticks, and they'll custom tape them themselves that get auctioned off as well. So we try to make it where there's price points for everybody who wants to participate and donate to Melissa's Fund, and an opportunity to feel like they're making an impact and being a difference and giving a family hope.
And for those of you that don't know the background of the story, Melissa and Catherine, the twins, they were born 14 weeks early. I mean, how much did they weigh at 14 weeks?
So, so when Catherine was 1.15 pounds, Melissa was 1.9 pounds. Really, that size was really a distance. Now, they are fraternal twins, so they were each in separate sacks. Right. And Melissa's complications came from a ruptured sac, and ultimately was her lungs had not developed adequately for her to survive, and really that was a big difference between the two girls. You know, she fought for another 7 weeks when Amy had gone into premature labor and Amy was put on bed rest. You know, back then, 18 years ago, 24 weeks was really the age of, you know, viability for a premature infant. And thank God for technology and the equipment that, they have now that has increased where it is lower. 23, 22 weekers do have a chance now to survive. So Melissa, ultimately, fought those additional 7 weeks to get Ann Catherine to 26 and a half weeks, and they were born at that time. And Catherine went on to spend 68 days in the NICU, and they were born June 1st. Their due date was Labor Day that summer, and Ann Catherine came home, first week of August.
Well, that is something. It's the Melissa George Neonatal Memorial Fund, the Melissa Fund now, as it goes by. Over $5 million raised for the Huntsville Hospital NICU, and that is just all the good that has been done there. It is really, really cool stuff. All right, so this is year 18 with the jerseys.
Yeah.
Do you have all 17 jerseys?
Yes, we do. We have. So we always, a number of years ago, the girls started getting jerseys. I always got one. Amy got one. But we always get one to keep. We try to, all of ours get auctioned off, but we always keep one. So yes, we do have all 17 of them. Of course, throughout the years, there are some that are more special than others. They're all special, but there's a couple that have footprints or handprints of babies that have been in the NICU, and Melissa's footprints and handprints are on those jerseys, and Catherine's are. The 10th anniversary one at the giant Roman numeral X. The one we did like the Montreal Canadiens, even though I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, those are pretty cool. And this year's is no different, being the 20th anniversary of the Havoc, and they've got the chrome going on. This year's jerseys, it's pretty slick as well. And the last couple of years, we've been fortunate enough to have a custom painted goalie mask. Russell Dayton, I came across him in Huntsville. He does some amazing artwork on military helicopter blades and pilot helmets, and I found him through Facebook and asked him if he would be willing to paint a goalie mask for us for Melissa George night, and he has done that the past 2 seasons. He did it again this year, and it is a cool looking goalie mask. I tell you what, the goalies for the Havoc are gracious enough to, one of them will wear it during warm up and they'll wear it in practice, and so it technically is game worn. And it's an interesting on the goalie mask thing. I came up with the idea a few years ago when Max Milasek was the Havoc's goalie, because he was a preemie himself.
Oh, really?
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we were like, what a great night. We got a custom goalie mask for Max, and, being a preemie playing in this game for premature infants. And then Max got called up to Toledo.
Yeah, there you go. Melissa George.
The goalie mask still ended up going for an incredible amount of money that night.
That's
we were
great.
we were very excited about that. We did it again last year. We're doing it again this year.
January 20th, this when it'll be a Saturday night. It's always a special night down at the Hockey Barn. All right. Finally, if somebody wants to make a donation, they can't come to the game, they've got something going on, whatever, and but yet they still want to throw a little jingling into the fund. How do they do that? What's the best way for somebody to make a donation? It's listening right now to I want to make a little donation.
So Huntsville Hospital Foundation manages Melissa's fund. You can go to huntsvillehospitalfoundation.org, look on their webpage. You can click down on the funds and you'll see make a donation, and you can choose Melissa's fund. And an ironic twist on all this, when we had the idea to start Melissa's fund, the president at the time was Candy Burnett. Candy turned out her and her husband, John, were the house parents of Amy's sorority at the University of Alabama when Amy was there.
Wow.
So, Candy helped us in getting Melissa's Fund started because we didn't know where to start. We didn't know what to do. So Melissa's Fund is managed 100% through Huntsville Foundation, which means that any donation that's made to Melissa's Fund goes directly into Melissa's Fund. The staff is employees of Huntsville Hospital. They're paid by Huntsville Hospital. So unlike a lot of, charities that they take overhead out to cover their employees' costs, because we are managed by Huntsville Hospital Foundation, we don't have those expenses. So that night, you bring in a $20 bill for Melissa's Fund, or you spend money on a jersey or a mystery puck, you can be rest assured that money is going directly into Melissa's Fund, and you're making a difference in impacting the lives of premature infants throughout North Alabama.
That's tremendous. And if you Google, what I did was I just Googled, Melissa George Fund, and you'll find a link. You'll find a link right there. It'll take you to the Huntsville Hospital and to her page there as well. Chris, I appreciate you so much. And
Tom, thank you, man.
It's been fascinating to watch this thing grow and the work that you guys are doing. And again, with 9 kids and 11 grandkids, I feel you. I keep this in my prayers, and I just think about what the work they're doing down there at the neonatal and what you guys are able to contribute to it, and that it all stays local is really, really great too. So I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much. We always said the NICU is a place you don't want to know about. Well, when you have to be there, you are glad you're in the best capable hands around for your baby.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate you, Chris.
Thanks, Tom.
That's Chris George. Look, I know it's the day after the national championship game. We had booked this ahead of time, and that's a nice little break. That's a nice little respite. What they're doing there is important. That's important locally. All right, we'll get a break in here. When we come back, phone lines go open. Final swing through. You want to jump in? 256-576-4977. When we left, we had Maize and Blue Frank, Keith, the Michigan fan. They were on. If you guys want to circle back and come on, this is your time to sing the praises of your you could hail the victors, if you will, with your Michigan Wolverine team, because starting tomorrow we're not talking about them anymore. That's not true. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond Lehocky Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center and Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman, we're really going to begin to quiet down as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. Wednesday's going to start off on the cooler end of the spectrum. Looks like we're going to start the day in the low and mid-30s. A partly sunny sky through Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-40s, dropping into the mid-30s through the overnight and early into your Thursday morning. Plenty of sunshine on Thursday afternoon. Really is going to be a fantastic day across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s, dropping into the mid-40s through the overnight. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky on Friday afternoon. Friday also brings about our next opportunity for rain to the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
The segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by my friends at the Orthopedic Center. Speaking of Huntsville Hospital, they are the orthopedic specialists that pretty much every high school in the region uses. It's TOC Sports. Alabama A&M and the Huntsville Havoc also rely on TOC Sports. But you know what? It doesn't have to be a sports injury. It could just be a work accident, or maybe you're just breaking down a little bit. TOC is the right specialist for you. They're all over the valley. I mean, they're all over my listening area. You're not that far from a TOC right now if you're listening to my voice over the air. All right, I promise you that. It's North Alabama's largest sports medicine provider, TOC Sports. Stay in the game with TOC Sports. I'm guessing that we will tomorrow begin to look ahead to the NFL Wildcard Super Wildcard Weekend. 6 games, and there's a fascinating storyline behind every game. I mean, it's amazing the storylines coming up, but national championship game yesterday, that's what we're talking about today. So we're going to continue along that path here for the last 15 minutes or so that we've got of the show. These guys waited very patiently in the order of the longest wait. We start with Maize and Blue Frank. Not a lot of maize. Not a lot of maize last night, Frank. A lot of blue. I was a little disappointed. I mean, I like that all blue look, but I was a little disappointed they didn't rock the maize breeches with the blue tops, the traditional, Michigan look, but they certainly looked awfully good getting it done for the national championship.
Well, I agree. I like the maize and blue. They kind of look like blueberries, and that's not a good look, but that's okay. They got the job done.
Yes.
I fly my Michigan flag, and this is the first season since I've been in Alabama, which is since 2020, or yeah. I'm sorry, 2000. This is the first season I haven't had to put it at half mast even once. So that's
there you go. There you go. Yeah. So you've been here for 23 years, and you get your undefeated national championship here.
Well, yeah, and it was great because I worked for NASA up in Cleveland for years. And I was up there. I was up there during the Cooper years, so that was perfect for me. We beat Ohio State. We were 10-2-1 against John Cooper, and so if Saban retires, I think John's still out there.
No. We don't need Cooper. We don't need. I was in Florida during the Lloyd Carr years. Or no. I guess I was here during the Lloyd Carr era, and. I had a dude, or maybe I was in Nashville. I don't know where the hell I was. Maybe I was in all 3 places. But I had a guy that always would call the show and say, "Park the car. It's time to park the car," because he couldn't beat Ohio State. He was like the anti-John Cooper. He couldn't beat Ohio State.
Well, I think I made a mistake. I'm the guy that came in with the Rolled Tide sweatshirt on last week.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
And,
okay.
And that ED on the end of the rolled was, that was because they were having trouble getting their snaps up. But
they rolled snaps.
But I rethought it. I'm not sure I should have given a knife to an Alabama fan the day after Michigan beat them. But you didn't hurt yourself, so that's good.
No, that was good. That thing's handy. That thing is now living in the Woody Anderson Ford F-150, and that's a handy little tool there. So I appreciate you dropping that off for me.
Well, I have another. I was hoping you were at Baumhauer's again today. I have another present for you, which I'll give you. What size did you wear? Large or extra large?
2X's if you got them.
Okay, where are you? Where's the next time you're going to be broadcasting from?
Thursday and Friday, I'll be at the boat show, and then next Tuesday I'll be back at Baumhauer's. But Thursday and Friday of this week, I'll be broadcasting from the Huntsville Boat Show.
I'll see you next Tuesday. It works out perfect. So
right.
Go Blue. And if you see a Buick Cascada out there, look at the license plate. It reads MZNBLUE. You couldn't get that up in Michigan, but I got it down here.
Now this isn't a Michigan Wolverines hoodie that you're dropping on me now.
This is a personalized plate. It's great.
Okay, all right.
And since my little company is called Maize and Blue Enterprises, it's also tax deductible because it's an advertisement.
Promotional item. Yeah, absolutely. It's a promotional item. It's a good job by you. Are you kidding me?
Hey, I'll see you briefly next week, Tuesday. I got a present for you. Have a good one.
All right, Frank. I appreciate you. I mean, he wants to know how many X's. It's the old double X, but look, I'm not wearing no Michigan gear. I mean, I'll wear Maize and Blue Corporation gear. I guess that's his company, so that would be different. But I don't think I can rock any Michigan type gear. That would be tough.
Not feeling the blue and gold?
No, it's not blue and gold. It's maize and blue. Maize is that color.
Okay.
It's not gold. It's maize. You gotta know properly what that's called. It's maize and blue. Keith, the Michigan fan, who is a little bit richer today than he was yesterday. Keith, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing all right, big dog, and yes, I am. Hey, but if the Lions can, pull out a couple of miracles, I'll be even richer. But hey, my front license plate, I have the big house. It's a pretty heavy license plate. My wife bought it for me some years ago, I guess at goblue.com. Mm-hmm. And it's maize and blue, and the big house is on there, and it's pretty nice. Yep.
Have you ordered any championship gear yet? Because I know you wear you wear that Michigan gear all the time. I mean, have you had not ordered your championship gear yet?
No, normally somebody from Detroit send me something. My mother sent me a really nice leather and suede Detroit Lions jacket. Also, a nice leather Michigan jacket years ago. My wife buys me Michigan gear. All the kids, they know. If you want to make me happy, just get me something with Go Blue on it or Michigan.
Yeah.
But
no, I hear you. This is my daughter. For those of you that are watching on WZZN TV, where's the camera? Oh, there it is. My daughter got me this beautiful tumbler for Christmas, and those that are watching on TV are seeing that this it's like a 30-ounce Alabama Crimson Tide tumbler with the colors, and the crimson is it's all shiny. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful tumbler. So yes, my kids do the same thing. They get another one got me a blanket that was a Cleveland Browns blanket, and another one got me a blanket that was Bryant-Denny Stadium. Like, I don't know why they give me all these blankets. Like I'm an old man, I guess. They figure I'm going to cover myself up on watching on TV, watching on the couch or something. I don't know.
Yeah, on my desk at work here, I have a Michigan tumbler. But, hey, this was the first championship game that I felt sorry for the quarterback. I mean, Washington's quarterback, he took a licking and a beating. I tell you, I mean, I felt sorry for him when he was getting up off the ground in the fourth quarter with, 5 minutes left in the game. And it's like, God, I was texting my buddy in Detroit how, they beating the crap out of him. It's kind of hard to throw the ball when you don't have enough strength in your arm to basically hand it off. But
yeah, he was beat up pretty good, but that's the kind of football they played, and that's what Jim Harbaugh wanted to play. I mean, he said all along they can run the ball. They didn't care that they only threw it for 100 yards. They ran it for over 300 yards, and they stuffed the run. And that's old school football. Run the football, stop the run. Don't have a lot of penalties. Although they had a couple of them that they didn't call. You got away with a couple of them there. You know that.
And actually, Jim's brother John helped us out with the defensive coordinators. And, so if Jim goes to the pros, I don't have a problem with that because John Moore or the defensive coordinator just leave the staff intact. And, hey, they beat Ohio State, Penn State. Without Jim, they can continue rolling. But without
Jim being on the sideline, I mean, he was there all week long, obviously, and then he just wasn't there for the game itself. It'd be interesting to see if he leaves. It'll be interesting to see if the whole staff stays intact. Do they go to Coach Moore and give him that job, or do they look outside? I mean, because they're in, like Paul Harvey said, they're in a different spot than they were back when Jim Harbaugh took over. and I think you want to make sure that you're getting the right guy for sure.
Well, when Bo Schembechler left, they just promoted the offensive coordinator to head coach. And, no, that was the defensive coordinator that they promoted to head coach. But then he got into a little trouble. So they gave it to the offensive coordinator. I can't think of his name. But anyway, have a good one.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Congrats. Got to feel good, that's for sure. All right, let me get one more in here, then. I'll give it to Oh, is he gone? Oh, is LSU? Oh, okay. All right, so he's gone. The Mike Vrabel thing dropped right at the beginning of the show, Mike Vrabel being fired, and there's been some instant backlash about it, some surprise. Derrick Henry, he tweeted he was just shocked, that Mike Vrabel was let go. When you read between the lines of some of the things that were said by Amy Adams Strunk, who made this decision, it sounds like there was a power struggle going on. It sounds like Rand Carthen and Mike Vrabel were not necessarily on the same page. I mean, that's the sense I got from reading her comments. She said that, she felt that it was important that there was continuity. She says that the NFL continues to innovate and evolve. I believe teams are positioned best to sustain success with those who empower an aligned and collaborative team across all football functions. Last year, we began a shift in our approach to football leadership and made several changes to our personnel to advance that plan. As I continued to assess the state of our team, I arrived at the conclusion that the team would also benefit from a fresh approach and perspective of a new coaching staff. Other than being Bud Adams' daughter, is Amy Adams Strunk a football man? That she's making these decisions? Or is this a meddlesome owner? I mean, Mike Vrabel had an outstanding record, really, when you look at it. Yes, they had a losing record the last 2 years. They were also hamstrung with a lot of injuries and things like that. 3 years ago, he's the coach. 2 years ago, he was the coach of the year. They won the division twice under Mike Vrabel. He had a winning record. I mean, this program was a mess. And Mike Vrabel brought it back to relevance. They're taking a hell of a chance. And you got to wonder about what kind of candidates they get. It's one of only 32 jobs. But you got to wonder, if you're going there, is this owner a little bit too meddlesome? Just the way it is. All right, tomorrow we'll shift gears and start looking forward to the NFL playoffs. Remember, Thursday and Friday, we are down at the boat show. Coming up next, it's the Paul Feinbaum Show. We'll hear more of his mea culpa about Jim Harbaugh. And then Alabama and South Carolina basketball coming up at 5 with the pregame on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi.